I recently made a video all about why filmmakers are leaving Adobe Premiere Pro for Davinci Resolve, and that video ruffled some feathers at Adobe, and not a day later I had multiple emails in my inbox from multiple employees at the company, which ultimately resulted in Adobe inviting me, as well as some other video editors, out to their headquarters in San Francisco to talk to them about Premiere Pro and how they can improve. So, if you've been wondering about whether Adobe is actually listening to creators and whether they are working on making changes to be competitive with Davinci Resolve and Final Cut, etc., this video should hopefully help answer those questions. And incidentally, if you haven't seen the previous video that I made and you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about, I'll link it up in the corner and down in the video description. Starting off then, as I said earlier, it was not just me that Adobe flew out. They brought in video editors from around the world. Josh Olufemi, who I love, Kes Akolonu, Javier Mercedes, a fellow Texan, and someone that I've not had the chance to meet yet, but I was so excited to meet. Hey, my name is Justin Odisho himself. Yes, Justin Odisho. Once we got to Adobe's headquarters and got settled, Adobe explained to me why they wanted to bring me and these other video editors out to San Francisco. In short, they wanted to reaffirm their commitment to the pro video community and show that they are listening and they want to get feedback to improve Premiere Pro and make it more competitive. If I was to sum up this event in San Francisco, it was essentially an open forum where we were able to air our grievances about Premiere Pro directly to Adobe. It was like Festivus. More seriously, if I had to compare this moment to something, I would compare it to what Apple had to do some years ago when they hadn't released a new Mac Pro in many years. They had to have an event and reaffirm their commitment to the Pro community and say that they would be releasing a new Mac Pro with expandability for professionals. I see this event as the start of Adobe reaffirming their commitment to video editors. Anyways though, just because Adobe paid to fly me out to San Fran doesn't mean that I want you to think that I went easy on them, because I definitely did not. Just like in my video that I made about why filmmakers are leaving Premiere Pro, I didn't want to sugarcoat anything with Adobe whenever I was talking to them face to face. I wanted them to know exactly what filmmakers are going through and the issues that they are experiencing in the hopes that they will make changes to their software and improve it in the future. So for that entire day, essentially to any Adobe employee that I spoke to, which I spoke to a lot of them, I took the opportunity to reiterate the 4 points that I made in my video about why filmmakers are leaving Premiere Pro. Filmmakers want Premiere to crash dramatically less and be more stable overall. They want the program to be significantly faster, both on the timeline and when rendering, so it is competitive with Davinci Resolve and Final Cut. And they don't want Adobe to be changing features like the import and export panels for no reason. Now, I know I said 4 reasons and I only talked about 3, but my 4th point in my video was price and how Final Cut is only $300 and Davinci Resolve is essentially free, or at most $300 as well, while Premiere is a monthly subscription that is significantly more expensive. But considering how many billions of dollars Adobe made last year with their Creative Cloud subscription, I don't really see them competing with Davinci and Final Cut on price anytime soon. I can dream, of course, but I don't really see it happening. That said, I did tell Adobe that what I would really like to see is their software be as good as the price that they are charging for it. Meaning, going back to those first points that I made in my previous video, I want to see them work to make Premiere Pro be world-class when it comes to stability and editing speed. I'm betting that if Premiere Pro was more stable and faster overall, there would be way less editors that are considering leaving for other software. Now, all this said, I want you to notice that in this video, all that I've told you up to this point is essentially my complaints and feedback to Adobe, because that's largely what this event was, me and other video editors giving Adobe feedback while they listened. But after our feedback, Adobe did respond as well, and here's what they had to say. My complaints, as well as yours, have not been ignored. Adobe is aware of these complaints, especially in the areas of stability and speed, and they've told me they want to fix them and they are working to fix them. I had the opportunity to speak to the head of software engineering for Premiere Pro and tell him point blank that they were 3rd place behind Resolve and Final Cut in stability and speed, and then ask him what his team is going to do about it. He told me that they are completely aware of this and they are working hard to make improvements, specifically to stability and speed. As for when Adobe will act on these changes and make these improvements to make their software more stable and speedier, I don't know. But I'm hoping we see updates relatively quickly because, as I said in my previous video, more and more editors are leaving for other video editing software. Actions are always going to speak louder than words, and I really want to see Adobe take action on these issues. But for me, I will say that I was reassured by the fact that they were actually willing to bring me, someone that made a video that did not talk about them in the best light, out to speak to them and hear my feedback. Me going out and speaking to Adobe about these issues was just the start. And now, here's what I want you to do. At this point, I have Adobe's ear. They are listening to the feedback that I give them about Premiere Pro. So if you have feedback that you want me to pass on to Adobe, leave me a comment down below. I read all of them, and I am more than happy to pass along your feedback to their team in the hopes that they will put all of this feedback into action and make improvements to Premiere Pro. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to stay updated on everything that Adobe or Blackmagic or Apple are doing in their video editing software, and I'll see you in my next video real soon.